save files, right? You go to click on file and click on file save as, and you can just simply, let me just delete it. I'll just say my first program. Okay, I'll just simply name it something like this, and whatever file it is a C++ file. We'll click on save. Okay, now once this is saved, all right, so this should be fine for us. Okay. Now let me just once check on my MSys installation. Okay, just a minute. All right, just quickly go back to once, check my installation of the, let me check my compiler if it is set correctly. Compiler is fine. Let me check the extension of the file which I created. So when I go to this, yes, the extension is the source file. I need to change to C++. I'll just quickly change the extension of it. C++. Okay. Now, all right. Do you want to reload it? Yes, I'll reload it. And now let me try to build it. Okay. iostream no such file directory. Cool. Now I'll just quickly try to, since this ID is storing it as a C file, it's not running with the C++ syntax. I'll just simply click on open. Now this is overwriting it as a C file. All right. Just a second. All right. So for now, there are certain issues with my ID which needs to be fixed. So for now, what we will do is we will quickly swap up with an online IDE. Okay. So again, we can use a lot of online IDs. Let me just quickly reshare my screen for the same purpose. I'll stop screen. I'll share one another tab. Okay. There you go. We will simply search for online C++ IDE, and there are many of them, like GDB is one compiler is one, Programming is one. GDB is quite a popular one, and so is Programming. Okay. Now, depending upon your choice, you can again use whatever IDE you are comfortable with. So let us go with the Programming to begin with. Okay. Now again, for example, I was explaining you the header files, right? So in order to write that, the simple syntax is we will simply do, okay, let me share my screen again. So let me see if my screen is visible again. I'll share my screen. I'll present online C++ compiler. Yes, that's correct. The file extension should be .cpp, but for some reasons it is overwriting it with the .c extension. So yes, now coming back, we have a screen live in front of you. Let me just simply explain you that we simply do online C++ ID. You just search that, and once you search that, you will get multiple options like Programming, GDB compiler, and things. Let us use any one of it. For example, if I go here, and this is where we will again write hashtag include, we'll mention the iostream, which is like our input output stream library, right? So once we have written this, the next thing is that these are few default things that we do, right? We, whatever we want to import as a library in any program, we mention it right there in the very start, okay? Because this is a good practice to do. Now, for certain objects and variables, if we have to use a namespace, okay, because C++ uses a namespace as std, like a standard, okay. So we just simply mention that. So using namespace as a standard, so std is something that we'll mention. What will happen is now, whenever we have to print something or take as input, we do not have to use the std block every time before maybe doing anything, okay. If you have to do anything like maybe related to input output, we need not mention the std keyword again and again in front of them, right? It will explain using namespace as standard, will explain that part to the compiler itself, right? Now, next important thing is in the syntax of C++ is that we use semicolons after every statement, right? Now, why is that we use the semicolons? Because C++ as a programming language runs line after line after line, right? So it has to understand where does a line end. So semicolon always terminates a certain set of instruction and then makes it understand, okay, now we are starting the next instruction. Now, the next common concept that we need to understand is between suppose if we are running, okay, any program, that there is certain thing known as a thread, okay. So can someone quickly explain us what is a thread in chats? Okay, let us see how many of you are aware of that. Let us see. Okay, it is a live video. Yeah, it is. All right. Okay. Let us see how many of you can come up with the question's answer. What is a thread? Yes. So we have one answer coming in from Sai Praneeth, right? Like thread is running a process, right? Yes. So again, whenever we run any program, it runs on a default thread known as the main thread, okay. So what does it mean? That suppose जब मैं कोई भी program को run कर रहा हूँ, so thread runs, right? एक single थ्रेड भी हो सकता है, मल्टीपल थ्रेड भी हो सकते हैं. एक प्रोग्राम अपने आप में मल्टीपल थ्रेड्स को भी यूज कर सकता है, राइट, which will do a particular set of tasks. So similarly in any programming language, whenever I'm running a thread, so it basically starts the main program, the main file को run करने के लिए जो thread लगेगा, where every execution is happening, it will start in the main thread, okay. Ideally your main thread is something that starts and ends with the end of the complete execution, right? In between there will be multiple threads which come and go, okay. So that's needed. Okay, so right now if you move ahead, okay, now yes, the smaller unit of execution is one way to explain it again. Interesting. So right, cool. So again, let us move ahead, and now this time we will proceed with writing a simple set of instruction in our main thread. So suppose if I simply go ahead and declare one. Now again, iska syntax kya hai? That what data type function returns. Okay, this is something that we mention first, and then we mention the name of the function. Okay, so in our case, the name of the function is the main thread. Okay, so name ki jagah pe we will write main, and for now this could be anything. Maybe it returns nothing, so a void function. Maybe it returns integer. So in C++, this is again a syntax that we have to take care of. Okay, maybe we will simply for now use curly braces to start and end a code block. ठीक है कि main thread के अंदर का execution क्या है, we will write it in the curly braces right over here. So for example, if we simply have to return, okay, simply we have to return, we will return an integer because we mentioned our main function will return an integer. So this could have been anything. This could have been like a double return karega. So maybe we could mention like 3.44. And why 3.44 here? But arbitrary values hai. Maybe when you create something which is more specific, maybe like addition function. So whatever it is returning, it is returning maybe addition of integers, addition of doubles, or different data types, which we will talk about, right? So that's again something that explains why do we write int in front of the main, right? So again, int main and return 0 is a common syntax just to declare the structure of our code. So this is the overall syntax of C++ code. That hashtag includes will use the import of your libraries, whereas using namespace standard will make basically it will prevent collisions between uh, your different code files, right? It creates a distinct scope. Okay, basically. What are we running into a different blocks, वो सब distinctions में आ जाता है. We do not need to mention std again and again in front of everything, right? So that's one another way to look at it. So with this being said, okay, you have it's not even optional, it's optional basically to begin with, right? You can even run your programs without using namespace. And again, you need not include any unnecessary library. We only go to include libraries when we need them. So IOStream will be useful when we are doing a lot of input and output tasks. Okay, so that's where things will come into picture. So this is a little bit about how we do things, right? So for an example, suppose if I run this code for now, let me add a simple cout statement over here, right? So maybe I'll simply cout hello world. Okay, this is one statement that I'm running. So what my code does, first line read करेगा, library import हो रही है, namespace standard declare हो गया है, main function के अंदर जाएगा, it will loop through this cout, return 0 and end of the program. So let me run it, and in the output you will see we are getting hello world. Now what if I remove this file, and now what if I remove it and try to run it? So when I remove and run it, I get an error. Error is linked to a standard output, and standard cout declared here, but it is not mentioned correctly. So which is where I will have to mention std as a code block, and then this instruction will run, right? So again, to avoid this, we simply use using namespace as standard. Okay, so that's on and all about how things work, right? So again, few important things to take away from here are that semicolon is must. Suppose if I run it, okay, and you will see using namespace standard doesn't end correctly because semicolon is missing. So remember, C++ works on the statement level conversion, right? So if you are ending a statement, semicolon is necessary in the syntax. Again, as a developer, when we are developing something, when we are writing few things, it is important for us to explain the necessary logic of our reasoning, right? Why we are doing that. So for that, we need to use comments, right? So one of the interesting way to write comments in C++ is by using the double forward slashes, right? So this is a comment, okay? It is not part of code execution, okay? So this is something that we explain over here, right? Like now, suppose it is not executed. If I run this code, you see it doesn't give me an error to begin with because semicolon is not needed here because it's not the part of the execution. This is not a part of the program. Why? Because C++ will be careful to understand that there are two forward slashes. So it means that this is something like a readme, like a special type of string, a special type of text that the developer has written for itself, and it's not a part of the code, right? Now again, after this, suppose what if we have to write a long paragraph, whatever we have to write something more than one line. So in order to do that, we can use the forward slash strict, and you will see this is a multi-line command, okay, which can extend to serve as a paragraph, okay. In order to end it, again, we will go with asterisk and a slash. Now, if we run it, we are good to go. So remember that if you have to write things on multiple lines, a single double forward slash will not solve the purpose. We will get an error that this a multi on line number 5 is not explanatory. So in order to make it a part of the comment, we have to follow this pattern of writing multi-line comments. Okay. Now, with this being said, this is about the overall syntax of C++ and how to comment in it. Now let us understand how can we declare different type of data types. So in programming language, what are data types to begin with? So suppose we have a container, okay, to store certain things. Maybe we have containers in kitchen to store different type of groceries. Could be legumes, dals, pulses, rice, maybe our dough, and things like that, right? Uh, so each container has a label. Maybe I have a label by the name of cookies, and it will store cookie for me, right? Or could be biscuits or anything. Similarly, container in programming language is something that stores certain things for us, right? So it is as simple as I have a container, I give it a label, what type of thing it is storing, and then it stores that type of thing in it, right? So how many different type of variables do we have, right? So first let us understand that we will use a multi-line comment to write few things for us. Okay, so first of all, we have primarily to begin with, int is a type of variable which stores integers, right? So what are these? These are whole numbers, right? Something like 3, 66, something like that, right? Or even minus 123 to begin with. Similarly, we have double, which extends like a floating number, right? So floating number, let us say a floating or decimal numbers. Example could be a 3.1, something like that, right? 3.1 is an example. So again, the next could be the character. So character is a single, you can say character. Example could be A or B, okay, something like that. So extension of characters is string to begin with. So string is a, maybe a text, okay, a text data. Example could be hello world, okay. All right. So even if I write something like 1, 2, 3 in hello world, it is not no more integers. The computer has no more significance to it with respect to number. Okay, it's not 1, 2, 3 digits. It's just a string for the program now. Similarly, we have boolean, which is like true or false. The logic gate, the yes or no. So in order to store that, we need to write either true or false. These are the only possible values which we can give. Few important thing to take away from here is that if we have to declare a character, we cannot go with the double quotes, okay? Because C++ understand double quotes for strings and single quotes for characters. Whereas we have to declare boolean, we cannot use capital T or capital F, all right? Because C++ understands booleans in lower caps only. So that's about it. And we have to see how to declare a syntax. What is the syntax to declare any variable? So that is as simple as we mention the data type, or maybe like the variable type, followed by space, variable name, followed by the value of the variable, and a semicolon to end with. Now, with this being said, let us declare a few of the simple variables for us, right? Okay, now let us go. We run out of our comment. Okay, and we do hashtag include iostream using namespace standard. Okay, we declare different variables. So the example could be integer. Declare integer. Let us say x is equals to 10. Integer y. Okay, now let us declare some more data types, something like double. So y is equals to 12.44. Okay, then maybe like a character, maybe like z is equals to, say, let's store z in it. Or okay, so this has become chat. Let us fix it to character. Then there could be string. So string could be is equals to a string, say a is equals to hello, how are you, and followed by semicolon, and then we could have boolean, right? So boolean is b is equals to true. So again, this is how you declare different integers, but now is a good time to understand and appreciate one more interesting thing, which is the creating sense out of your variable name, right? So as a bad developer, you will do something like this: x, y, z, a, b, okay, which is not wrong in terms of logic or in terms of program, but it is a less readable format of writing things, right? What if I would have labeled this something much better, like maybe something like my integer, okay, or integer underscore, something like that, because it will make much more sense, okay? Just by the variable name, when I'm calling it, I myself know what I'm calling. I'm calling an integer, I'm calling a double. My double will explain me that it is okay, I'm calling a double, or my character will definitely do the task, or my string. Much better sensing variable names, right? So that's really important. And yes, so that's correct. Praneeth is mentioning double can store more decimal size than float. That's definitely correct. Yes, it does. Okay, cool. So difference between float and double is, yes, again, Ritu, that's the same thing that what Praneeth has mentioned, and it can store more decimal values. Again, okay, all right. Problem in attendance. Okay, yeah. So Chandan has explained you that first you register to the site, then you will be able to do your attendance. And if you have any difficulty, please put in the chats. The moderators will look into it. And again, yes, cool. I think we have read almost many of the latest comments. Let us go back. And so suppose, let us say, I'll give you more sensible way to look into it, that how could we name our variables, right? Suppose if I have to write a program which takes in the age and prints out for us. So again, we will be uh, using iostream, using namespace standard. We will declare our main function, integer main. We'll start, okay, we will declare a variable, say x is equals to maybe like 29, and see out statement, see out what would be streaming out. My age is equals to, then we will follow with one more the comparator, and we will use x over here, okay? So I have to use the lower x, okay, followed by again years for an example, okay? So this is how we print multiple things, multiple variables. There will be multiple things in one statement. Okay. So my age is something like this. And once we have done it, maybe I'll just close the function by returning as dummy integer. And once it is done, I'll just simply run it. Yes, my age is 29 years old. And if you see, the more important thing here is, rather than using age, if I use my age as a variable name, so now in any part of the code, if I'm calling my age again, I'll know what I'm calling, right? I don't need to remember and memorize ke x mein kya rakha hai, y mein kya rakha hai. The variable name should be so simple ke just by the name of the variable name, I should be able to recall and understand that what exactly was this variable for and what is it storing, right? So for an example, if we are storing, say, integer x is equals to 5 and integer y is equals to 10, and suppose you have to store something in ka addition, so I can just simply declare the variable name as sum, right? So I'll know what sum stores, x plus y store karta hai. So maybe if I just replace it with sum, so now these variables will make much better sense, okay? Now again, if you have to declare multiple variables, कुछ भी हो, boolean, float, string, कुछ भी हो, if you have to declare multiple of them, what we can do is some single statement के अंदर भी कर सकते हैं. जैसे हमने x equals to 5 यहाँ पर mention किया, right? We have done that. We will simply do x is equals to y is equals to 10 and maybe z is equals to 20, and in a single line, right? It will still be able to work for us. So that's how you declare. And suppose if you have to declare, say we are creating a game, ठीक है, हम एक game develop कर रहे हैं. In this game we create 10 side characters which are a part of our open world environment, and to begin with they all start off from a same point, ठीक है, इनका coordinates हमें same रखना है. So one way to do that is maybe we will simply declare integer x comma y comma z. मान लो तीन integers मैंने declare कर दिए, and I'll simply use x is equals to y is equals to z is equals to 20 or 10. Okay, it will still work out because this is again a way कि आप multiple variables अगर same assignment देना चाह रहे हो एक single line के अंदर, you can also declare it like this, है ना? So if I run this again, it should not have any issues and it should run for us successfully, right? So that's again one way to look at it, that how we can declare things for us. So that's primarily more in for the how a basic program works. Okay. So suppose if we have to write a program which takes in a student की ID, उसका age, उसका maybe fee structure, the course that they are doing, and then we have to print a statement using them. So maybe this is a good exercise for everyone to follow, right? So what I will do is I'll give you one open assignment के you can try to do this. ये code को कहीं पर note कर लो. When we come back tomorrow, you try to print this code in the chats. Okay, this way you will also help me remember that I gave you one assignment, and maybe it will be a good point to show that you were able to do this part. You're capable to do this part. You can also let your fellow members know that maybe you have learned few things. You learned the syntax. You learned about declaring variables in different ways. What are different type of variables and how to do it. So you can take up an assignment, something like a student ki ID declare कर लो as a variable, student's ID, age, and the grade. Maybe it is in 10th, 8th, 9th, जो भी standard में है, okay? And just print out it. Okay, this student's name is this, their ID is this, their age is this, and they're in this grade. Just one single print statement if you can do, right? So this is a very simple code which you can practice. It will help you develop more around how you can create variables and their types, है ना? So again, for a short recap, there are libraries, there are the function names. Main function main thread पे run होता है, इसलिए उसका नाम basically main रखते हैं, and इसके अंदर is where the main execution happens. This is where main execution happens, and if you are okay remembering the structure, this is a very good foundation to begin with. Now let us see if we can also take inputs rather than just printing them, right? So now, in order to take up an input and then use it, there is C out, जैसे out करने के लिए है to print something. So input लेने के लिए C in है, right? Is also included as a default when we are running this IO stream. Okay, so let us say that suppose if I want to take something as the input, so I'll declare मैं दो inputs लेने वाला हूँ, x and y for now. Okay, these are two inputs, and I'm going to use one integer sum. So we can also place it everything in a single hood. Okay, तीन integers declare. I'm declaring three integers. Okay, x, y, and sum. All right. Okay. Okay, cool. Let me see if there are anything. Yes. So why are you using the comparative operator like less than, greater than, before, and after the sum? Well, that's the syntax for seeing C out, okay? Because I'll show you, I'll explain you how to memorize them, okay? So if you are taking something as an input, है ना? अगर हमें कुछ input चाहिए, so what we have to do is हमें scene के साथ उसका opposite लिखना पड़ेगा, like in the right way. अगर आप इसको एरो मान लो, if you are considering the single point to be the direction where we are leading, तो C in points towards the right, and क्या input लेना है, तो X में input लेना है, and C out points as what? C out points as what के ये print statement out कर दो, तो उसका opposite left में जाता है. So this is the syntax in which you can remember it. So maybe before taking the input, we have to explain user के करना क्या है. So we can just simply put over here C out type first number is equals to, है ना? So maybe this could be one statement which will print. After printing this, the next line is C in, so which is where the program's execution will be halted until and unless we give an input to it. Okay, it has to be an integer to begin with. Now once we have given that integer, next it will say type second number. is equals, right? So once we have done that, so again we will take the second number as the input. So input line we will do again scene and say y में store कर देंगे. Then sum will be nothing but sum will be x plus y. And once we have done that, we will simply see out again. This time we will say, okay, addition of both is equals to, and so suppose if I have to print multiple things in one single cout, so I can add again one operator here, and I'll simply say अब मुझे एक और variable print करना है sum. So sum semicolon to end it. Return statement to close my function. So whenever we return something which this function is supposed to return, वो statement आने के बाद execution खत्म हो जाएगी. Return statement will terminate the use case of that function. So remember, whenever you return, you're closing the function. So when I run it, this code is now at line number 17. Print हो गया है. Now it is at line number 18 and waiting for me to give the first number. So suppose if I give the first number, say 10, okay, first number is 10. Okay, I'm not able to, okay, print 10. Second number as say 20. Okay, so by default, it took my first number as 0, and 0 plus 20 is 20. Okay, maybe that one was missed for the time. Okay, so that's about how we can utilize the input and output methods in C++, right? Again, so what you can now work around here is that maybe there could be an assignment on how to create a calculator to begin with, right? Of course, I'll help you with it, how to build certain different type of functions. Now the thing is that day one was supposed to be at such a fundamental level that all of you are able to at least establish okay how to write your first program, right? Now again the speed of the execution from this point will be that we will now write much more functions. हम थोड़े different type of programs बनाने सीखेंगे अब, क्योंकि now we have covered quickly the syntax, we have covered quickly the variables, the different type of variables, we have covered how to write a function and what it returns, right? So once this is done, my thought process is that why not we expand ourselves to do a lot of military type of training, we will do rigorous training. We will take up questions, we will take up different problem statements, and we will try to solve them at the same point, making sure that we are learning few things, right? So the agenda for coming up sessions would be to understand how the loops work, how the control statement works, right? What are arrays and what are functions. So we will cover them. Maybe I'll try to expedite few things based upon the pace, based upon your feedback that maybe you are learning something or you want more coming up in the future sessions. So that's where we will escalate the learning level, right? Maybe we can take it to much more higher level. We can start solving problem statements, but that has to be acceptable with the masses, okay? Since we have multiple around 200 300 people joining us, so we have to make sure that the level of teaching is similar to that, right? So for our 3-day bootcamp, we are focusing more on taking you to a level where you can solve certain projects, right? Mini projects to begin with. So again, this is in all basically what variables and data types do. And if you have any doubts pertaining to this part, maybe you can ask me. Else, this was all that was supposed to be delivered for day one. I think we have covered it very well. Just in case, if there is anything that you want to ask out of curiosity, maybe not even limited to C++ bootcamp. Maybe if you want to take some insights as a developer, maybe you want to discuss few things related to your career, or about any guidance that you need, maybe we can also cover that. Let me just quickly see if there are certain chats coming in. Okay. Oh, let me just quickly check. I help to set VS. VS Code. Again, unfortunately, I mentioned that I give you throughout tutorial on how to do it. Currently on this machine, I am following up something with VS Code, which is currently in development stage, and I cannot uh, uninstall or change my environment at this point. So VS Code, I'll give you once again the link. Okay, I'll give you the link on how to install or do the setup for VS Code. So I'll share this link in the chats. Okay. Okay. So you want to cover up the installation of MGW. Okay. Let us do that once. I'll try to do that. Yes, we will be storing each and everything on YouTube. So this session can be seen later on the YouTube. So I registered with a different mobile number. Can I change it? Maybe the admin will be able to talk more on it. So yes, the link on Visual Studio is given to you how to do it. Now someone was asking that if I can run through this installation once. So let us go to the download MSys. Okay, since I already have it installed in the C drive, what I'll do is I'll try to change this drive location. Okay, six. Okay, I'll create a new folder. I'll create okay, I'll just name it demo MSys installation. This is the name of the folder I will follow. Okay. So by default, you have C drive where you can download. I'll just use this folder. Okay. Now I'll click on next, which is where I told you that there's a straightforward process. Do you want to start a menu and you just simply click on next? It will start on installing, right? Yes. Now let us wait for this installation to complete. Okay. So it is a straightforward installation, as I told you that it will take just a next step or more. Again, okay, let us see. Uh, Someone is, I think, asking about Kotlin is also a language like C++. Opinion regarding Kotlin. So, see, Kotlin and C++ are both programming languages, but different use cases, right? Uh, Kotlin is more popular for the Android development, whereas C++ is again a low level, high performance application development programming language, right? When you have to develop some things for different applications, different systems, C++ is preferred. Mobile development, Kotlin is there, right? So that's more about it. So we are almost done with it, and I think this is how we finished the MSys2 installation. I think whoever was asking, this is the part of it. Yes, I think we are done with the session. That should be all for now. Once we have installed it, we should be able to complete the installation setup. Okay. Now, cool. I think that's all for now. We have also explained many of the doubts. So my occupation, okay, I'll just quickly cover up my occupation. So my name is Gaurav Deep, also goes by Gaurav. I am a AI data science developer. I mostly work with the domain of machine learning and AI. I have a total experience of 5+ years in this industry now. So that's all. Thank you all everyone for joining in. How do you game yeah, C++ is good for game development also. Again, once you build more into C++, you will understand that it's possible. All right. Thank you all for joining in today. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye bye, Tata, sayonara.